Hey y'all, welcome to our presentation. We are FlexPro Grip, and our mission is to solve baseball's UCL crisis. We're over in booth 822. I know we're getting ready to end up today, but if anyone wants to talk after, we'd be happy to make the time. So, part of the reason we got started, as velocity and that being the true measure of how long people can play this game of baseball that we all love, as that continues to go up, as everybody chases 90 and that 90 even turns to 100, torque just keeps going up on the elbow. As torque goes up on the elbow, tears are more likely to occur than ever before. So, what brought us to that point? I'm Adam. This is my father, Daryl. As many of you in the audience, I'm sure, had baseball careers and had big league dreams. Mine ended because I blew out my shoulder, not once, not twice, but 3 times, a couple failed surgeries. But with that, I met a lot of great people along the way, and a lot of great people along the way led to me training a large group of young athletes with the same dreams. Those same dreams led me to want to be the best coach I could be for them. And just how he was for me, he was my developmental coach. I looked at him for the answers. Those kids looked at me. So we thought, we got to start doing some research of our own. We found that 2013 study that was done in Japan from kids age 6 to 16, so for prepubescent athletes, there was a 0.9 correlation of their grip strength measured on a dynamometer, not how long they can hang on a pull-up bar or how long they can hold plates, truly just one squeeze, how many pounds of pressure they can put up on a dynamometer has a 0.9 correlation to throwing velocity. So 0.9 correlation, for those of you who aren't scientists, a 1 correlation is breathing to being alive. So that's incredibly high. So with our group, we decided, we should probably test this. In 2017, we had a junior college group. We had 21 pitchers training with us. High-level junior college in New Orleans, Louisiana. Of those 21 pitchers, of all the metrics that we tested, we got a 0.65 correlation. So that's still incredibly high when other things, squat, deadlift, 10-yard sprint, med ball throws, all significantly less. So we all of a sudden knew that grip strength played a huge role in the development of athletes. If we fast forward now a little bit down the line, like I said, surgeries brought me to some introductions with some great people. One of my father's friends from a previous career, Dr. Gunnar Brolinson. Gunnar Brolinson was my treating physician after the first 2 surgeries failed. And he gave us a call one day right before my last workout at Pro Ball. He wanted to see me, make sure everything was good. He said, but hey, why don't you all come up to Blacksburg just a little bit early? Someone on my team developed a grip training device that I think might have, or that might pique your interest a little bit. So enter this man, Dr. Brian Dickens. Dr. Brian Dickens, weird guy, fantastic guy, the head of our research team. He's the father of this device. It's his baby. And he trusted us with the development of the product. He was the original tester as a rock climber, an avid sports fan that had nerve damage in his hand that caused him to no longer be able to grip a baseball, grip a fork, grip soap in the shower, whatever it was. He started doing his own training with this device. In over 6 weeks, he was all of a sudden able to palm an 8-pound medicine ball after continuous failed physical therapy. So from that point on, Virginia Tech's research team gave him the grant to bring this product to market, and Dr. Dickens and Dr. Brolinson recruited us to be the business development arm. So over the past year, what brought us to this point is that 250 research articles, that's now a little understated. We're about 300 to 400 articles in. We've been through this crazy product development stretch over the past 12 months. And through this, we've also continued training athletes, and now we've eclipsed the 500 mark with our youth, high school, college, and professional players at our facility in New Orleans. And through this process, we've now had numerous meetings with the doctors at ASMI in Birmingham, doctors at the Tulane Institute of Sports Medicine, and Virginia Tech, and all across the country to see if they really think our product has legs. And what's kind of been a crazy thing for us in all this, we started being the ones getting asked the questions rather than the ones asking the questions. It's been a fun ride, and that's it for my introduction. But now Daryl is going to take us through a bit of the anatomy and physiology of why these tears actually occur.
So the first thing we wanted to do when we got asked by Dr. Brolinson to take on this device, we wanted to first understand what's really going on with the UCL. And for us, I think one of the big issues for us was trying to understand whether or not this concept of a crisis was real. Now, we end up with a device that Adam will talk about at close that does a host of different things. Obviously, our focus today is on the prevention of UCL tears, but this device, through our research, what we found is it also does a number of other things on the improvement front. It can improve throwing velocity, it can improve pitch command, spin rate efficiency, and obviously has a real rehab value when it comes to UCLs. Again, we can touch upon those other aspects of our device from an improvement standpoint if we have a chance to visit with you guys individually, or we touch upon all of that on our website. But today, just talking about the UCL, let's move into that. So the first thing we wanted to understand is let's look at the state of the problem. And for us, I wanted to understand, is this a hoax or what's the scale of this problem? So as we started looking at this, we figured let's look at it across kind of three broad segments of baseball. Is this a little league problem? How does it work at the high school collegiate level, and what's happening at the professional level? So then we just really segmented it and looked at the research according to that. First thing we looked at is little leaguers. You know, you want to say, is this just a pro problem or where does it go? At the little league level, the data that we found, to me, was incredibly alarming. Like most of you as coaches or coaches who have dads, you look at this and you say, what's going on at the little league level? Dr. Andrews, the whole ASMI team, they created this whole Pitch Smart program back in the early 2000s thinking that they would figure out a way just through pitch counts, arguing against curveballs, that they could kind of minimize this problem as it escalated. They've not had a lot of success when it came to that endeavor, and that's one of the things Dr. Fleisig was very honest about when we talked with him just a few weeks ago. But at the little league level, to me, one of the most alarming things is what was found is in one study, they looked at 343 kids, 10 to 13 years old, did MRIs on all of the kids. These were not kids who were complaining of pain, and they said, let's just look at their elbows. And what they found is nearly 2/3 of all of those kids had already pulled off the medial epicondyle from their humerus. Just think about that. 2/3 of 10 to 13-year-old kids playing Little League baseball are walking around with a medial epicondyle that has been pulled off their humerus. The only reason those kids don't end up tearing their UCLs as life goes on, frankly, is because they either don't play long enough or they don't throw hard enough. Do one of those two things, and we've got a next generation of kids who are going to end up tearing UCLs. So that's what's going on at the youth level. That kind of got our attention. The next one we looked at is let's talk about high school. A lot of you guys are high school coaches. High school coaches right now, when it comes to UCLs, it probably could not be a more alarming time. You can look at some of the data. Probably the most alarming one is in one of the more recent studies. Obviously, it's dated a little bit, but they took a pool of kids and looked at them from 2007 to 2011, and what they found is nearly 60% of all Tommy John surgeries right now, Dr. Andrews would say it's probably closer to 2/3 right now, nearly 60 to 65% of all Tommy John surgeries right now are being performed on kids in high school. Again, all we've done is we're taking a little league population that has severe elbow trauma that they're experiencing early on. We're moving those kids into high school. We know the deal. Every high school kid, I say every, probably 95% of high school kids want to play collegiately. What's the first ticket for a pitcher to throw in college? He's got to throw harder. You push velocity, velocity drives torque on an elbow, which driving UCL tears. Now we said, let's move on. Let's look at what's going on at the college level, pro level. So we looked at another group of people, kind of that 17 to 21-year-old age group.